What's up, guys? My name is Aaron. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. This is a Amazon show that's created by Gilmore Girls writer Amy Sherman-Palladino. It's set in the 50s, and it's basically about this housewife who is writing jokes for her husband, who's trying to be like a stand-up comedian. One day, he breaks up with her, wants to call off the marriage, and she discovers that she's the actual like mastermind behind all the jokes and stuff. She sets out to be like the comedian and stuff, and she gets help from a manager and stuff. I saw this show was coming out, and I didn't really need to know that much about it. I didn't need to see the pilot or anything like that because that's how Amazon works with the pilot season and stuff. I think Amy Sherman-Palladino is one of the best TV writers like alive. Gilmore Girls is probably one of my favorite shows ever. And if Bunheads had been allowed to continue, probably would have been up there as well. She has a really distinct style with the way that she makes her shows and stuff. So once I heard that she was behind this, that was basically all I needed. And I just waited till the show came out and then just watched it all within like a week or whatever. So like definitely I wasn't really that surprised that I ended up loving this show. Like just like all the ingredients with the show, like it's just really up my alley, I guess. The best thing about the show was Rachel Brosnahan as Midge Maisel. I feel like Sherman Palladino's writing is so like unique for the way that you have to kind of hit each beat really quickly and stuff because like it's just so like jam-packed with like a lot of different lines and a lot of insults and stuff like that. Like her other leads in her shows, like Lauren Graham and Sutton Foster, were perfect for being like the cog in her machine. And I feel the same way about Brosnahan. The way that she kind of mixes being a housewife and like a modern woman, I feel like she was really perfect in terms of like personality and like her outlook on life. I felt like her performance was really brash in a way that kind of reminded me of Graham's or Foster's, and the kind of complicated and lengthy dialogue really felt really naturally coming out of her mouth. The dialogue she has is really funny, especially when she's like reacting to somebody, like when she's pleading her case to a judge and like all the things that come out of that situation. I feel like her comedic timing is like pitch perfect, and you really need that with a comedy like this. I just feel like she feels really natural in all of the scenes she's in, even like the stand-up scenes. But she's also really great in like the dramatic scenes when she's asked to do a little bit more serious stuff. So when she's dealing with a breakup and just being like a woman in these times. So I absolutely think that she deserved the Golden Globe, and this is like a breakout role for me because I never really heard of her before, and she's really great, and I think that this is like a star-making performance, I feel like. And to me, the storyline was just really interesting to me. A female stand-up trying to make her way in the 50s. I don't really think I've seen like a show or a movie that kind of dealt with this, and kind of seeing all the things that really entail with working your way up to that situation was just really interesting to me. She really had to learn a lot on the spot, and she had Susie, who's played by Alex Borstein, who becomes her manager and kind of navigates her way into the situation. I feel like the dynamic between those two were great. Like that was probably some of the best moments of the show to me, just them interacting and stuff. There's a scene where like Midge is in her apartment and she's talking to Susie, and like Susie's just by Mitch's kid, and it's just really funny just the way that she kind of reacts and stuff to the kid while they're also talking. I just thought the story was really interesting to me, and it just kind of showed how hard it was to make it as a stand-up regardless, let alone being like a woman and stuff. Also, the dialogue and the writing was really strong as well. It's in the typical Amy Sherman-Palladino way, which is like really fast-paced, kind of a screwball delivery, loaded with a lot of pop culture references. This show, I didn't really get as much of the references because it's set in the 50s, so the references are kind of more in the past. But I did appreciate that the show had a lot more cursing in it. Like, I thought that was really funny, having like this fast-paced dialogue with her cursing and stuff. It was really funny to me, kind of seeing that dichotomy between like the older time and like the cussing, I guess. I feel like it mostly manages like the whiplash tone of like Amy Sherman-Palladino's style, with it going quickly from like goofy stuff to like more serious dramatic moments, like really like kind of effectively. I just think that she knows how to cast people because all the dialogue that kind of comes out of these people's mouths really feels really natural and stuff, and I feel like it can kind of feel too cutesy, you know what I mean? But I feel like it works perfectly in line with the actors on the show, especially Brosnahan and Borstein. And a thing that I didn't really expect from the show going in was how much I like the overall aesthetic of it. Don't get me wrong, like Bunheads and Gilmore Girls are shows that I like, but they're not really like that known for like the way that they look visually. You know what I mean? They're just more of like small, sleepy towns and stuff like that, and it's not really like that eye appealing to me at least. But with this show, she really stepped up her game with like reconstructing like the 50s and all that entails with that in New York. Just going down from like the fantastic costuming, the sets, the music, all of it really transports you into the 50s in a way that I really didn't expect from her. and I thought that was a really cool touch in my opinion. I think there are some things that I would have fixed. I think the supporting characters outside of Susie and Joe, who plays Midge's husband, I feel like basically everybody else feels like cartoon characters to me. That's kind of, I guess, what happens with Bunheads and Gilmore Girls as well. But because they're supposed to be more dramatically significant to the show, like Mitch's parents, I feel like they kind of feel like cartoon characters to me. So it's kind of hard for me to relate and kind of feel for those moments because they kind of feel like one-dimensional to me in a way that like Emily didn't really feel like that in Gilmore Girls, or Truly didn't really feel like that in Bunheads. To me, at least, I feel like they're still funny characters and they have a lot of good lines and stuff, but they're just hard. It's just kind of hard for me to care about them in those moments. I also think there's some bloat with this as well. It kind of had that thing with the Gilmore's Girl revival where like it shouldn't have been that long. Those individual episodes it wasn't like as crazy as like the musical moment in Gilmore Girls the revival, but I think some pruning of some of the storylines would have been appreciated. Overall, I think this is a great show though. It has a fantastic engaging lead. An interesting storyline and plotting, some strong writing and dialogue as well. And I think that the nice flair to the 50s style was really appreciated. I think some of the characters are a little goofy and kind of one-dimensional. I think some of the episodes' lengths could have been trimmed, but overall, I really enjoyed the show. So overall, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 or a B+. Those are my thoughts on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. What are your guys' thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments what you thought, and thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. Bye.